The Salesforce Dashboard Builder is a very powerful tool that makes it very easy to create fantastic visualizations of data. So you have to have reports to be able to build dashboards because dashboards are just visual representations of data from reports. So in this short video, I'll show you how to create a dashboard from scratch based on a very simple report that I created earlier. So in this sales app, I've already got access to the dashboards tab. But if you don't see it in your tabs there, then you'll need to click on the app launcher, type in dashboards, and you should see it pop up for one of your apps. If you don't see it pop up there, it means you do not have the appropriate permissions to access dashboards. So you need to contact your Salesforce administrator to open that permission for you. So I'm going to open the dashboards tab now. And if there are existing dashboards, you'll see them here. If I click all dashboards, it shows me that in this Trailhead Playground org, there are no dashboards already. So I'm going to create one from scratch. So I'm going to say new dashboard. And dashboards are very much a blank canvas that you can build out however you wish using all the different dashboard components. So I'll give this one a name, test dashboard. If I save it in a private folder, that means no one else will be able to see it. So if I want to be able to let other people see it, I'll need to create a public folder and then save the dashboard there and then make sure other people have access to that folder in order to be able to see it. But in this case, I'll just leave it there. So now I've got my new dashboard, but it's a blank slate ready for me to populate. So this is the grid, and I can just start to add components to slowly build the dashboard out the way I would like. So I'm going to click Add Component. Now I need to select the report, the underlying report for the dashboard component you want to create. And for every component in this example, I'm going to select this new opportunity report. So I'm going to select that. That will then bring up all the different dashboard components that are available to me. So I'm going to work through one by one. First one is a simple bar chart. So I'm going to say, yes, add that. You can manipulate the x-axis and the y-axis if you want to display different data. You can choose whether to show values or not. You can choose a range or make it custom. And then you can also choose how you want to sort that data depending on the type. So let's add that. I'll choose another one. I'll choose the same report. So I'll show a vertical bar just so you can see a different perspective. So that's essentially the same view, but in a different orientation. Create another component. This is going to be a donut chart, one of my favorites. I'm going to add that. I like these. I think they're very effective, especially given you can see the data represented in that circle wheel style. You can resize these. You can drag them anywhere you want. They'll just naturally snap to the dashboard grid. You can't just make it sit in the middle of nowhere. It's got to be either underneath another component or at the top of the screen, but then you can slowly build up from there. I'll get another component. Opening this up, select that report again. Done that. A single number, I use these quite often as well, just makes a single number. This is good for giving you an overall figure. The other benefit of these is, you can see this is currently in red. If we go to edit this component, we can edit the color of that number based on the values of that data. So in this case, the lower number is, I guess, less ideal. So it's going to be red, whereas a higher number is better. So that's going to be green. So you can configure that. You can swip it around depending on the nature of the data you're working with, but you've got a lot of chance to, and then also make it yellow if it's sort of somewhere in the middle. So great option to customize that. Make another one, same thing here. Okay, we'll start to look at the sort of scatter plot. Looks like scatter plot's not available with this. This is another popular one, which is a bit of a speedometer style. So it shows very similar data to the number, but you get a bit more gradient in terms of the visual output. Try and make this one a little bit bigger. So the dashboard's starting to look good. Scatter plots are not available. The last thing I might do, have a look at this one too. This is another sort of funnel style, really good for seeing overall stage views. Drag that down. Check one or two more things, and then the dashboard will be complete. This is good to see a bit of a line bar. So it's fascinating that a single report can be displayed in so many different ways to make it easy to sort of see different things about the same data. Then one more is a bit of a scatter plot, and again, fully customizable in terms of what data you bring in. And then what I commonly do, there's one more sort of component type, which essentially brings up a data table of certain records. And I often bring a data table in to the very bottom of the report, especially for things like home pages, for certain apps, for certain roles that people perform. Last thing I'll do, so you can actually see record by record listing, is the data table component, and then I usually drag that full width. So it essentially just makes a data table. You could just make it half width, but I like to often do a big data table at the bottom, especially if it's, yeah, as I said, a home page type thing. After that, we want to make sure we save it. And that is the basics. So there's a lot more you can do in terms of adding filters. You can make interesting date filters or stage filters, or filter by other aspects or other fields on the object whose data you're working with. But at a high level, you need to have reports made, because a dashboard is built based on reports that you've already created. And then you just use those dashboard components to make interesting and useful visual representations of the data contained in those reports. So I hope that helps. Enjoy making some dashboards in Salesforce.